You can't have something as popular as the NBA and not have it flooded with controversy. From all the way back in the Wilt Chamberlain days to as late as a couple years ago, the NBA is filled with things it's almost impossible to figure out. What really is the truth behind that? And it'd be almost wrong to start anywhere else than what I first mentioned, the Wilt Chamberlain days. Of course, there's no more famous NBA controversy than did Wilt really score 100 points in a game? 100 is far and away the record for points in a game. Second is Kobe Bryant with 81, still 19 points away. But for Wilt Chamberlain in his 100-point game, the story goes like this. The Philadelphia Warriors, who Wilt played for, were versing the New York Knicks in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Warriors led 19-3 early. Chamberlain had 13 points, starting 5 for 5 from the field. At the end of the first quarter, Wilt had 23, going 9 for 9 from the line, which was unlike Wilt because that dude was a brick from the free throw line. The difference though, Wilt was shooting underhand this season. The Knicks center, Imhoff, he got benched early due to foul trouble, so by halftime, Wilt had 41 points, which wasn't even anything crazy from Wilt. I mean, the dude was averaging 50 a night. But at halftime, the Warriors decided to keep feeding it to Wilt because the Knicks had no answer for him, and in the third quarter alone, Wilt had 28 points. By the end of the third, he had 69 points. But at this point, I mean, the dude had 69 points, and the announcer, Dave Zinkoff, he was calling out each and every single point Wilt scored. Wilt had 75 with 8 minutes left. Ready for this? The funniest part? The Knicks were pissed, so they started intentionally fouling other Warriors to keep the ball out of Wilt's hands. Then the Warriors got pissed because of that, so they started fouling the Knicks to get the ball back to Wilt. Probably the ugliest game of basketball ever to watch. But with less than a minute left, Wilt scored his 100th point, and of course, that's the number we all know today. So we have all this information. What's the controversy? Well, there's no footage of this game, and a lot of people believe it really didn't happen. Besides that, the game was played in Hershey, Pennsylvania, far from all NBA major cities. And then on top of that, there's conflicting reports of the final score in the radio broadcast, 169-147 officially, but 150 and 146 are also mentioned. Also, besides that, I mentioned Wilt was a brick from the free throw line usually. He went 28 for 32 this game. A lot of people don't believe that. But honestly, people are so funny about it, like this. Restored footage of the Tasmanian tiger, which was declared extinct in 1936. Well, he ain't scored no damn 100, man. People are really funny about it. But maybe the most controversial topic ever, my guess, Wilt did score 100. I mean, you can go online and find the broadcast. I'll play a clip.
167 to 146. Now let's see if they found somebody quick. Rogers throws long to Chamberlain. He's got it. He's trying to get up. He shoots. No good. The rebound, Luckenbill. Back to Chamberlain. He shoots up. No good. In and out. The rebound, Luckenbill. Back to Ruckwick. Into Chamberlain. He made it. He made it. He made it. A different dunk. He made it. The fans are all over the floor.
Okay, so we started off in the older days with Wilt Chamberlain. Let's bring it forwards a little. The draft lottery is always a big one, and this specific one, this is one of my favorite conspiracies ever. 2011, the Los Angeles Clippers win the draft lottery, which the Cavs own that pick because they traded Mo Williams and Jamari Moon for it. I love Mo Williams, but I really hope whoever the Clippers GM was got fired. Anyway, Cavs win the lottery, 8th best odds, 28 out of 1,000 chance of that happening, or 2.8%. 2 years later, the Cavs win once again, which makes sense. They had the 3rd best odds this year, a 15.6% chance of that one happening. But again, a year after that, the Cavs win the lottery. This time, the 9th best odds, a 17 of 1,000 chance of that happening, or a 1.7% chance. Okay, so the Cavs won 3 out of 4 years. Was it lucky or was it rigged? Well, a lot of NBA fans thought it was rigged. Why? Well, first, the percent chance of them winning all 3 lotteries, here's the number, 0.0074256%. Like, come on, dude. But after that, though, LeBron James, the best player in the NBA, he just left the Cavs. Many people thought this was just to boost ratings, like LeBron's return to Cleveland versus these stacked NBA rookies. But years later, LeBron returned to the Cavs to play for them. So this got people thinking, maybe this was all to set the stage for LeBron's return. Just everything to maximize his return. Like the opportunity to draft Andrew Wiggins to trade him for Kevin Love to play with LeBron. Now what do I think? My guess, the Cavs just won the lottery. That's really it. And the fact that the Cavaliers used one of these picks on Anthony Bennett should be enough to tell you that this wasn't rigged. I'm telling you one thing though, if I were a betting man, I would have bet the Cavs to win the first pick every year. And also if I were a betting man, I'd be using OddsJam. OddsJam is the top choice for data-driven sports betting, tracking over 260 sportsbook in real time. With OddsJam, you'll become a profitable sports bettor using strategies similar to those employed by successful investors and traders. How does it work though? Thanks to the OddsJam arbitrage tool, which identifies discrepancies in sports betting lines across the market, the tool finds arbitrage betting opportunities, guaranteeing risk-free profits by spotting these differences. You can even bet on both sides of the market and still make profit. But that's not all. OddsJam also offers a positive EV calculator to help you optimize your bet sizes and a bet tracker to monitor your profits all across your sportsbook accounts. By using OddsJam, you'll be smarter and more responsible, leading to long-term profitability. Plus, they're so confident in their product, they offered a 7-day free trial. Ready to try it out? Use code ModernJam for a 35% discount for your first month. Okay, let's get back to the video. Let's talk about a controversy we don't hear too often. The Minnesota Timberwolves failed relocation. For this, we gotta go back to 1994. That year, the Timberwolves attempted to relocate to New Orleans due to financial issues with the Target Center. The Wolves owner considered selling the teams due to mortgage problems. I mean, the Wolves were just a mess. But eventually, Glenn Taylor bought the team, keeping it in Minneapolis. But why is this controversial? It's not so much did this happen or did it not happen, but it's more Minneapolis almost lost all their sports franchises, and the fans were getting scared. The Wolves owner met with representatives from San Diego, Nashville, New Orleans, all to discuss relocation. Nashville gave a big offer that the owners liked. New Orleans eventually emerged as the leading candidate, and this is within 2 years of Minnesota losing their NHL team too. Plus, it was only 4 years after the Wolves moved into the Target Center. This was almost the quickest failed franchise in league history. Shout out to Glenn Taylor for being born in Minneapolis and keeping the team there. Now you guys got Naz Reid. That makes up for it. Okay, so we talked about one of the greatest players ever in Wilt Chamberlain. We talked about the Cavs and LeBron, the Minnesota Timberwolves. How about the guy most people consider to be the greatest player to ever pick up a basketball? Michael Jordan. 1991, Michael Jordan wins the NBA championship. 1992, Michael Jordan wins the NBA championship. 1993, Michael Jordan, once again, wins the NBA championship. So it's not even a question of who the best basketball player on the planet is. Okay, so 1994. Ask someone who doesn't know the answer to this, what happens this year? Well, Michael Jordan wins the NBA championship, right? Dude, are you stupid? How do you not guess that the greatest basketball player on earth retired to go play baseball? Because that's what happened this year. In October, Michael Jordan announced his retirement. The dude said he lost the desire to play basketball, and he also said the murder of his father 3 months earlier influenced that decision. MJ said he's been contemplating retirement for a year now because he was exhausted from the Dream Team the previous year, but when he announced his retirement, it was like, what the hell? No one could believe it. I mean, imagine Jokic retired right now, then times 100 the amount of headlines that would make. That's what MJ's retirement was like. But then, 4 months after the retirement, MJ signed a minor league contract with the White Sox. Okay, so MJ ended up playing around a year or two for a couple different minor league teams. He wasn't amazing at all, really, that's being nice. But let's go back to the years for MJ. So we're at baseball player in 1994. Late 95, MJ makes an NBA return. 96, he wins the championship. 97 too, and 98. So why is this controversial? Well, a lot of people think MJ didn't want to retire, but he was suspended from the NBA due to gambling problems. Here's why. In the 1993 NBA playoffs, Michael Jordan was seen gambling in Atlantic City the night before Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals versus the Knicks. Before that, MJ previously covered $57,000 in gambling losses, and an author named Richard Esquinas, he claimed to have won $1.25 million from Michael Jordan in golf. So then, everyone decided as a collective that MJ was suspended because he had a gambling problem. But multiple times, the commissioner denied this happened because of gambling. He said Jordan just wanted to retire. But despite the denial, the speculation still goes on today. My guess? I think MJ just got sick of basketball and everything that came with it. He wanted to try something new, then missed it and went back. Especially with everything going on with his father at the time. but he's one of the greatest Bulls in franchise history. How about we talk about another one? For this, we gotta go back to 07-08, where Derrick Rose is on the Memphis Tigers. This is actually a crazy story. So in April of 2008, the NCAA sent a letter to Memphis stating that Derrick Rose had an invalidated standardized test from high school. So Rose had to take another SAT. Less than a year later, January 2009, remember, Rose is in the NBA at this point. The NCAA, they charged Memphis with knowing that D. Rose had someone else take his SAT for him. So yeah, Rose had somebody else take the SAT for him. Basically, here's what came out of it. D. Rose's grade was allegedly changed from a C to a D at the Simeon Career Academy. Damn, how will he survive? But besides that, D. Rose released a statement via his lawyer saying he cooperated fully with the Memphis investigation, which found no wrongdoing. And one of the crazier things that happened, the NCAA, they vacated Memphis's whole 2007-2008 season because Rose was ineligible due to the invalidated SAT score. And Rose, Coach John Calipari, and athletic director R.C. Johnson, they reached a $100,000 settlement with the Memphis season ticket holders over the vacated season. So season ticket holders basically got a free season on D. Rose and Coach Cal because technically the season never happened. My take, I know some might disagree, but it's just a stupid situation. Derrick Rose plays basketball for a living. I mean, we're talking about the 5th highest recruit coming out of high school. The fact that he even had to go to college for a year is one of the worst rules ever in my opinion. And if you do need to go to college, what's even the point of going for 1 year? Sorry, just a quick rant. That's just my least favorite rule ever in basketball, and I'm glad the NBA finally got rid of that. Shout out to Ace Hill for that. But let's move on to one of the more known controversies. Let's talk about one that actually happened on the court. We gotta go back to 2002 for this. The Western Conference Finals, the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Sacramento Kings. Shaq and Kobe versus Bibby, Webber, and the rest of the squad. Let's talk about Game 6 in specific. The Lakers have been completely dominant since Jordan wasn't the guy anymore. It's all Shaq and Kobe. Back-to-back NBA champions up to this point, on the verge of a three-peat, except now they're down 3-2 to the Sacramento Kings in the conference finals. And the Kings are up 5 at halftime too. Until the third quarter starts, and what do you know? Tie game going into the fourth. Now ready for this? The Lakers win the game by 4 points, but in the fourth quarter, the Lakers shot 27 free throws, the Kings shot 9. Some of the weakest foul calls you'll ever see too. Many people believe this was financial reasons. To have a new powerhouse after MJ wasn't the guy anymore, they wanted Kobe to be the new face of the league along with Shaq. And the biggest reason, the Nets were in the championship. Who's tuning into a New Jersey Nets Sacramento Kings NBA Finals? Not nearly the amount of people that's going to watch Nets Lakers. So my guess, of course it's rigged. I'm not even a Kings fan. Look, this is from Tim Donahue. There's no doubt in my mind that the Sacramento Kings should have a ring on their finger. They were the best team in the league that year. That Game 6 was definitely a situation where towards the end of the game, they got robbed. If Tim Donahue is saying that, I don't even know what to tell you. This guy was Punch Made Dev before Punch Made Dev.
Listen up, I'm finna show y'all how to hit a bank. Just pay attention, it's a quick way to jug in any state.
While we're on the topic of the Lakers, we may as well stay on that topic, but get a little more recent. December 8th, 2011. Woj bomb. The Hornets are near a deal to send Chris Paul to the Lakers for Andrew Bynum and Lamar Odom, league sources tell Yahoo Sports. This is deadass a real Woj tweet too. Except, CP3 is only a Laker for a couple hours, because a few hours later, David Stern vetoes the trade, which keeps CP3 a Hornet and eventually makes him a Clipper. But here's what the full trade ended up being. CP3 to the Lakers, Lamar Odom, Kevin Martin, and Luis Scola to New Orleans, Pau Gasol to the Rockets. One of the league's more massive trades of all time. Until NBA owners pressured David Stern to block the deal. The owners thought the Lakers would become stacked because they didn't have to give up any draft picks, and they saved $40 million. Plus, at the time, David Stern was overseeing the Hornets because of ownership issues. He low-key just didn't want to trade CP3. Can't blame him. But honestly, one of the stupidest situations ever. Imagine we got CP3 and Kobe after Kobe already had 5 rings. Kobe gets another ring or 2, CP3 gets a ring, plus we probably get a Kobe Bron finals. Damn, that actually sucks the more I think about it. After that though, we got one of the more famous controversies ever, the 1985 NBA Draft Lottery. Okay, so the year's 1985, the New York Knicks suck, Patrick Ewing's coming into the NBA from Georgetown and just dominated college basketball. In the NBA, of course they want the Knicks to be good. It's profitable. So what do people think? Well, they think the Knicks envelope was frozen. You can see from the way that David Stern doesn't take the envelope with the Knicks in it, and they think he knew which one had the Knicks in it because they wanted him to land a major star. And to make things even crazier, Ernest & Winnie, the accounting firm involved in the lottery, they audited Gulf and Western, the Knicks ownership group. Now, are the Knicks complaining? As the dog would say, hell no! But are the rest of the NBA fans complaining? Hell no! Ewing never won a championship with the Knicks. He's also arguably the greatest player in franchise history, so I guess it worked out for both sides. My guess, was this lottery rigged? Hell yeah. Watching the video, it seems way too obvious he didn't want that envelope, but it's been 40 years since then, and the Knicks sucked for about 35 of them, so who was really complaining? But moving on to the last one, I'm not sure if this is technically a controversy, more of a crazy story, and if you guys want, I can do a full video on this, but I've never heard anyone say this story before. That's Bison Dele. Dele was a center that played with the Magic, Nuggets, Clippers, Bulls, and Pistons. He won a ring with MJ and the Bulls in '97. He was good, a career average of 11 and 6.2. He had a season where he averaged 16.2 points and 8.9 boards. But the story of Dele? So summer 2002, Dele, his girlfriend Serena Carlin, and the captain set sail from Tahiti on Dele's boat, the Hakuna Matata. It's also believed Dele's brother Miles was on the boat. 2 weeks later, Miles brings the boat into Tahiti alone. Eventually, Miles is detained in Phoenix after a sting operation. They found that Miles forged Dele's signature, opened mailboxes in his name, and bought $152,000 worth of gold using Dele's passport. Then, Mexican police find Miles staying in a hotel in Tijuana, Mexico. The Hakuna Matata is then found off the coast of Tahiti with its nameplate removed and possible bullet holes patched up. And Miles actually ended up passing later that year from something unrelated. Since then, there's been really limited information. Dele's now been missing for 21 years, 10 months, and 22 days at the time I'm recording this. If you guys want, I could do a whole deep dive into this and make a video on it. I could even try and reach out to anyone who knows more on the story and they're willing to share it. Let me know if that's something you'd like. Just comment or sub so I know for sure. But anyways, there's been really quiet stories like Dele's, or there's been stories we all know like Will's 100-point game. But either way, the NBA has been controversy filled since the league began. And that's part of what makes the league so interesting.